Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome into this special edition of the Chairshot Indy Spotlight. We are here tonight with the IZW heavyweight champion himself, Bryce Saturn. How you doing, man? Welcome into the show, man. Thank you for coming on.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys for having me. I feel great. Very glad to be here.
Yeah, no, we are thrilled to have you on here. For those of you watching around the interwebs tonight, well, not tonight, but whenever this airs, we got Bryce here. I'm going to welcome into the show the editor and war chief. That is a very interesting title there for Mr. Andrew Balaz. How are you doing, buddy? We have not done one together in a bit. So how are
No,
you,
we
man?
haven't, and since I do most of the tech stuff, which is why some of the video podcasty stuff is a little. I don't like to touch a button. That's why editor in chief, war chief is kind of the Twitter handle. So it worked. It was all right there in purple crayon. I couldn't say no.
Yeah, and as for me, I spend way too much time in Riverside's editing on my own aspect of things. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, or you do know, it's me, Dave Ungar, the lawyer here, coming at you tonight to talk to Bryce about. I mean, let's get into it, Bryce. Let's talk right off the bat.
Let's get
You
into
have,
it. Let's do it.
let's do it, man. You've got a big defense coming up, August 22nd, Psycho Circus 4. You are going to be defending the championship against Gino Rivera at Bullshooters. Let me go to you first on this one, man. You have been the man in IZW ever since winning the championship from Evan Daniels at Long Live the King. You're a few months removed from that milestone, but if you could, Bryce, take us back to winning that championship. What did winning the championship, the way you won it, and who you beat to get it, what does that mean to you?
Let's take it back. I mean, me and Evan Daniels, who is the person who I beat for that championship, we go way back. We were both a part of a group called Final Destination. It was me, him, Charles Cassis, and Bryn Thorne, all four of us. And for a number of years, I would say we kind of ran the show at IZW. We were all over it, whether it was successful or unsuccessful. We made that show ours every which way we could. And so we had a lot of history. And when I was gone from IZW for a while, Evan, he kind of rose to power while I was away, and he got a bit of an ego. So when I came back and challenged him for that championship, we were kind of butting heads for a really long time. We were going back and forth. He was costing me matches. I was going out there to fight him. We were fighting each other for quite a long time, just going back and forth for about 2 years until it finally culminated in a big time matchup, reckless rules, me and him, anything goes for the championship. And it meant everything to me. Just all the circumstances, it being on Navajo Warriors retirement show, having all those people there and everybody who got involved. And it was honestly just a very big full circle moment for me, especially with the championship. And that title, the IZW Heavyweight Championship, is a title that I've been wanting to win since before I even started wrestling. I was in the crowd for NAV 30 when it was first unveiled before I even debuted, and I looked at that title and I said, I'm going to win that championship one day, and that's exactly what I did. And I did it against somebody I love, with people who I love, for a show that was dedicated to somebody that I love. So overall, it meant the world to me, and it was amazing. It meant so much, and honestly, I'm very humbled that I was able to experience that.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
and
fantastic. That sounds
go
like the
ahead.
stars kind of aligned for you, and
one Hundred
I
percent.
guess that kind of works with the last name, right? The whole constellation aspect.
There we go. Absolutely, it all works
Yes,
out.
I love the last name, especially with some of the weird stuff I do over on my channel. But anyway, man, you mentioned Navajo Warrior. He's a part of excuse me. He's a part of the present IZW Championship belt. And you were the first person to actually have that particular belt with him on it. I know he's a big influence on you. What does that mean for you as far as being the first one to have that particular championship belt?
Mm. Well, let me just say that if it wasn't for Navajo Warrior, there would be no Bryce Saturn. He was my very first introduction to independent wrestling in Arizona. Actually, I was really good friends with his daughter. We went to dance together, And back when I was 15 or 16, she comes walking in with a WWE 2K jacket on. And this was at the time where I had zero friends that were wrestling fans. So whenever I saw wrestling memorabilia out in the wild, I would be like, I'm talking to you right now. And so I'd be like, hey, so you like wrestling? What's with the jacket? You actually play the games? And she's like, oh, well, my dad is a pro wrestler, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait a minute. So then she introduced me to him. She brought me to a local show, my first ever indie show. And so he was my introduction into independent wrestling, because before that, I had no idea it existed. And then ever since then, he has been a massive mentor to me, especially after I started wrestling. I would always look to him for advice, and he was always there for me whenever I needed him to. So just the fact that I won the championship on his retirement show, and to be the first person to hold the championship that commemorates the Navajo Warrior. I mean, it literally has Navajo Warrior side plates. I mean, it doesn't get gorgeous. More sentimental than that. Beautiful, beautiful title. Huge, by the way. Massive. Very heavy. But to be the first one to hold that, it's a literal representation of everything that it means. Like, it doesn't get any more perfect than that. So just to have the literal, physical, visual representation of that, and to feel it and live it, again, full circle for me. So once again, very humbled to be the first person to hold that championship, and I plan on holding that for a very, very long time. And I hope that I can live up to the expectations of carrying on the legacy of the Navajo Warrior.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah, that was really well put.
Hey.
Since Nav is such a big influence on you, and you were talking about some of your origin and your little stepbrother's moment with his daughter, with the whole, did we just become best friends? Yup. So who else kind of got you into it? What school did you take your first bump in? Was it with Nav? Was it somewhere else local? Like,
so when I went to that very first indie show, his wife, the renowned Morgan, Crazy Hot Morgan, she recommended a school to me, in which the trainer during that particular period of time was R3, was Charles Cassis.
Nice.
And so he was my trainer, and he taught me mostly everything that I know when it comes to professional wrestling. I mean, still now, he's still my trainer. I still watch back footage with him. He still helps me whenever I ask, and he's still there for me to this day. So,
see, now that's how you know you're dedicated to this and you're actually good at what you do, because it's just like singers who constantly have a vocal coach. Even if they make it, you still need to keep your instrument intact. There's always something to learn, and the fact that you don't already think you know everything, like that's awesome to hear, that you still go back to him and you take the advice where you can get it. That's fantastic.
Well, I'm still a long way from where I want to be. But you could always be better, no matter what, no matter how far along I get. So I know it's a nice feeling to know that no matter how far I get into this business, he'll always be there for me to go back and critique me and help me out and get even better.
That's great.
Yeah, speaking of your origin story, Bryce, I heard on another interview you'd done and you mentioned 2K earlier, and you're talking about it. It sounded like the video game 2K is what got you going down this path. Can you tell us that story again? Because that's a little bit unique. You don't hear it, that the video game is what really motivated you to get into pro wrestling and then go down from there to where you ended up now.
Right. So when I was a kid, I lived in an apartment complex, and so I had a friend there. I would go to his apartment all the time, and we would play games. And then one day he busted out WWE 12 for the PlayStation 3. Big old Randy Orton on the cover. And I just had a blast playing that game every single time. And one day he was like, hey, I know we play this game. Let me show you the actual thing. Because this was my favorite game we would play at his house. Sometimes, I would go over there just to play the game. So I was like, this game is awesome. So I played the game before I knew anything about professional wrestling. And then one day he was like, hey, here's Monday Night Raw. here's the real thing. And then I've been hooked ever since. So went from the game to now I'm like, oh wait, this is actually a thing in real life. And that's basically how that happened. So if it wasn't for the games, then so now every time I get the game every year, I'm like, this is what got me into this. This is what did it.
I think the question everybody wants to know then is, who was your go-to guy? Who'd you pick every time you went over?
John Cena every time.
Okay, hey, it's
That's
not
what-
everybody's
he was-
first pick,
he was my favorite when I was a kid. Luckily, he had a pretty high overall in that game, so I wanted quite a bit. Yeah.
You just dumb lucked into that one, right?
yeah. Just happened to pick the highest overall, but no, he was my guy when I first started watching wrestling for quite some time.
So
like, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, since you're bringing up games got you into wrestling, I also noticed, doing a little bit of a little research before this, that you seem to be a little into Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, because you had that nice little retweet on Twitter. So I don't think that there's really a segue that Goku is going to take you to like New Japan or anything like that. So at least it's not quite there. But like, what other games kind of get you going and keep your interest?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I got a couple figures on my, and it's broken.
Was it Vegeta?
It's all right. It was. Who was my favorite?
I mean, it's just appropriate that it's Vegeta then. Okay.
Of course. My bad. Didn't mean to disrespect them like that. But I'm a big Dragon Ball guy. I'm a big Pokemon guy. I mean, I'll always play the WWE games every single year. I literally just have my desk is just flooded with games that I've played.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This was the first ever Pokemon game that I ever played.
I was going to say, that's also in the old DS cover for Pearl. It's not like you just got the Switch version that they just came out with. So
no, well, I mean, of course I got that one too, but this is the OG Pokemon Diamond that I got back in, like, what was it, 2007 when it came out. So, but yeah, I'm a big gamer. I struggle to find time nowadays to play a lot, or at least not as much as I used to. But I still squeeze in some time every now and then. But the big games I play right now are WWE 2K and the newest Dragon Ball game. Was that Sparking Zero? That one's
yes.
fun.
I think that just had new DLC too, where it had a couple extra characters like Chill. Stuff like that came out. Yeah.
And then Dokkan Battle all over my phone. So I play that one pretty much every day.
I mean, well, it's a mobile game. It's a little easier to access. You could do that in between things. I
mean, I feel inferior. I'm like playing Halo campaign involved on the PS5 just to see. Okay, let's see how it plays on the PlayStation.
You can play Halo on the PlayStation?
Now you can. This is the first one that they've ever released. Is they redid the original Halo game, added like 3 prequel missions, and then they put the original Halo Combat Evolved, and they redid it with the Unreal 5 engine, and it's good. Graphically, it's great, but there is a little bit of a learning curve on there if I press this, I'm meleeing somebody instead of zooming in on him, but you get the hang. You get the hang of it pretty quick, man.
Halo on a PlayStation controller must feel crazy.
It's the haptic controllers are a little bit twitchy, and a lot more sensitive than the Xbox controllers, which isn't. You would think that'd be a good thing, but it's really kind of not for a Halo game.
Right.
But
I was more of a Call of Duty guy growing up. I was more like a Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, and then nothing after that. I haven't played Call of Duty since.
Yeah, shooters aren't for everybody. That's for sure. But some of them are great games and some aren't. But like you were mentioning about how the video game got you into pro wrestling, but a lot of people become fans of pro wrestling. Very few take that step from going from behind the barrier to actually in the ring. What really motivated? What pushed you in that direction to say, I'm going to get out from just being a fan and actually do this for real and jump in the ring and take bumps and all that?
Right. So back to the games. So WWE 12 is when I played at my friend's house. WWE 13 is the first one I actually owned for the Wii because I didn't have an Xbox or a PlayStation yet. I will say a wrestling game with the Wii and Nunchuck was awesome. They should bring that back in some way. I don't know how, but that would be pretty sick. So on that game, I created myself for the very first time, the very rare days before I came up with the name Bryce Saturn. made myself, and from that point onward, I was like, you know what? Like, of course, I put the World Heavyweight Championship on myself because I had to,
Of
right?
course,
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
for sure.
Who doesn't?
So,
Yeah.
and then from that, yeah, from that moment, I was like, you know what? I think I want this to happen in real life. And so, literally, from that moment, from being 9 years old, I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a WWE superstar. That's just it. I'm gonna be a professional wrestler. And so I pretty much joined the school like as soon as I possibly could. If I could have done it sooner, I would have absolutely. Even though in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't because I feel like I would be hurting a lot more than I am already.
It's probably fair.
But
Yeah.
literally, right out of high school, right after I graduated, the second I turned 18, jumped right into a wrestling school as soon as I possibly could. So, but yeah, also because of the games. But I, from that point on, like I always knew at some point I was gonna try to do it as soon as I could. I'm like, Bryce Saturn is gonna be real. He's gonna be in real life, and it's gonna be sick. And it's been pretty sick so far.
Have you gone back and immersed yourself in the history of pro wrestling? I mean, are you a big wrestling historian, or are you just not so much?
I wouldn't say I'm a huge wrestling historian, but yeah, I've definitely like I know my history. Like obviously, I don't know as much about the stuff that I wasn't like watching. Like you can ask me any question about pro wrestling from 2012 onwards, and I know the dates. I know a lot. But anything before that, I know a lot, but not like by heart. But of course, I've gone back. Like actually, funny enough, my first experience with the Attitude Era was in the WWE 13 story mode. That was my first experience with the Attitude Era. And it's funny because I started watching TNA during that time too, and my very first impression of Hulk Hogan was the TNA general manager. I didn't even know what Hulkamania was. I just thought, yeah, that's the TNA GM. So, but yes, I have gone back. I know my stuff from way back. But I don't want to label myself as a wrestling historian. That might be a stretch, but I know my stuff.
So over on my show, The Attitude of Aggression, we do this thing called the Big Five Project. We started at WrestleMania 1. We've been covering every pay-per-view, and we're up to like, I think King of the Ring 97. I can tell you, Bryce, you can skip pretty much everything in 1995, man. Don't go near it. It's really bad and rough, man.
I don't think I've seen, other than from Mania, I don't think I've seen any full matches from 1995. So
Dude,
I appreciate the heads up, though.
King Mabel. I'll just leave it right there, man. King Mabel is all you need to
heard
know.
a thing or two.
And none of them positive, I'm assuming, right?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, there's nothing there, man. It's rough. It is a rough year. New
I
generation.
bet. Hey, good on you for going back and watching everything, though.
Well, it gives you an appreciation when you get to like 97 and 98. It's like, oh, this is really
Yeah, like, oh my God, this is so much better.
It's like after you've been starving and eating, regular generic crackers, it's like, yeah, these Ritzes are pretty good. So anyway,
I bet.
yeah. As the IZW champion, how is your approach to pro wrestling and the business and kind of everything going on with you changed as far as being a champion is concerned, as opposed to where you were before, like being a challenger? A lot of people talk about being the hunter versus the hunted.
Right.
How has that changed for you as being the champion, and how you've adjusted to that?
I would say, if I'm being completely honest, nothing's changed, because before I won the championship, my mentality was always that I am the uncrowned champion. I'm going to go out there as if I am the heavyweight champion. Act accordingly. So when I won the championship, obviously it shifts from, like you said, the hunting to the hunted. But honestly, I love having a target on my back. I love having that pressure of being the heavyweight champion. I love going out there and main eventing every show and having the house rely on me. I love that. I love that pressure because it just helps me improve. So the mentality was always there, but now actually living it, of course, it's different. But I love every second of it, and I welcome every single person who wants to try to take the championship from me. But the mentality is still there. I'm going to fight just as hard to keep it as I did trying to get it, and I'm going to do that every single time I go out to the ring.
That's amazing. And since it sounds like you pride yourself on being like the ever evolving emperor, like be it with the title or without the title, Has any of your previous experience helped to mold that? Because I've seen some of your matches. I've gone back. I saw your TJP one in Washington. You know, where TJ Perkins is huge. He's accomplished so much in different companies. I know that
Right.
you've had matches with, or a match with Nick Nemeth at Looks at Kill at IZW, and he's currently the TNA champion. And you
Right.
even had a tag match against TMDK where Shane Haste is currently the GHC heavyweight champion in Noah over in Japan. So rubbing elbows and getting any kind of pointers with these actual like just world travel champions, has that helped in your evolution of becoming a champion or in your mindset or anything really get tweaked about Bryce?
Right. Well, first of all, I'm not the emperor anymore. I am the owner of Saturn's Ring, which means every single professional wrestling ring I step into is Saturn's Ring. That's the golden rule. Don't ever forget it.
Okay.
Second of all, I would like to, as far as being a champion, I would want to credit that to my time. I mean, I'm still there. I want to credit that to my time at WrestleDrag, being the WrestleDrag champion, because that was the first place I ever held a promotion's main title, and that was the first time I ever had to be in that spot of main eventing shows consistently, and that's what helped me improve and get to that point in my brain, and that's what helped me build the confidence to get to that point to prepare me for a time like now being the IZW heavyweight champion, and times there definitely will be in the future when I will be the heavyweight champion for other promotions. So I definitely credit WrestleDrag for that, for giving me the confidence and the ability to be the heavyweight champion and to represent a brand. But like you said, I absolutely learned so much from being in the ring with guys like Nick Nemeth and TJP, because I mean, being in the ring with them, like, it's just, that's just a whole nother level. Like, you can't help but to improve, but to step up your game when you're in the ring with guys like that. You know, like when I had that match with Nick Nemeth, I couldn't really believe, like, I couldn't describe the feeling, because being in there with him and literally getting a taste of the feeling of the connection that he had with the fans, because damn near everyone in that building already had that emotional connection with Nick Nemeth. I mean, they've all watched him for years and established that emotional connection with him. So to feel that and be in the ring for that during the match, that was an experience I can't even describe. And I learned so much from that. And I can only strive to get to that at some point in my career way down the line. But I learned a lot from those experiences, and I absolutely will continue to learn from those experiences in the future.
That's a great answer, man. I love that. Let's talk about your opponent for Psycho Circus 4, man, Gino
Right.
Rivera. Obviously, you have all the confidence in the world heading into this match, but what do you think about your opponent and what aspects of his game, if any, I'm not going to say you're concerned because you're ultimately confident, but what aspects of his game are you on guard about?
So, well, first of all, let me say that I have a lot of respect for Gino Rivera. He's been around for a long time. I know he can be very crafty, very sneaky. I mean, he's won gold from all over the country. Everywhere he's been, he's pretty much won gold. And I've met him in the ring a few times, and it's always been a huge test for me. And I know this time will be no different, because this is the biggest match that we've been a part of when it comes to Bryce Saturn versus Gino Rivera, because the IZW Heavyweight Championship is on the line, and it took a lot for me to get it. And it's going to take a whole lot more to rip it away from me. So, but he is battle tested. He is a veteran, and I will never take an opponent lightly. I'm definitely not going to take Gino Rivera lightly, but I'll be remiss if I didn't say that I know for a fact that we'll be walking out with the championship. And you just got to check out August 22nd and wait for me to prove it.
There you go, man. Looks like Gino's got his hands full on this occasion. Yeah, there's another guy who's out there right now. There's been some rumblings involving you and Thugnificent, right? And he has the record as the longest reigning IZW heavyweight champion, and he's presently, if I'm getting this correct, I'm going to make sure he's the 3D Sports Fighting Champion. So you guys have been, let's just say, talking a little bit, and it sure seems like a match between you two is probably inevitable at this point in time. What are your thoughts about that evolving situation, and and where that's heading.
It's it's funny because every single time like we talk about each other, it's always him bringing up my name, him talking about me, and on the other side of that, it's me being asked about him. Because if it were up to me, I would not want to be talking about Magnificent, but you've asked me about him, so I'll give him the time of day. Um, he's the 3D he's the 3D sports fighting champion. He's doing what he's doing with that championship, and I'm doing what I'm doing with the heavyweight championship. I am dealing with IZW heavyweight championship business. He's not. I am the guy at IZW. He's not. So he can run his mouth all he wants, but to be honest, I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove. So if he can earn a shot at the IZW Heavyweight Championship at some point down the line, then I will gladly give him all of my attention. But right now, he is not in contention for my championship. Therefore, I am not concerned about him. So as far as a matchup between the two of us, I'm sure he would love that because he loves, involving him in my business. He loves talking and being involved with Bryce Saturn business, which I understand. But as far as right now goes, I, to be honest, couldn't really care less about having a match with Magnificent. So if he can earn a shot at having a match with me, then by all means, let's do it. But he hasn't. So that's all I got to say about him.
Maybe he sees you as a threat to that record, man, and that's why he's trying to drum this up and kind of bring you into his web here, so to speak.
Oh, so you're not the type of guy that likes when you live rent free in someone else's head? You'd rather they just keep your name out your mouth? Okay. I like
Yeah,
that you're looking out for him. It's good. You care
yeah,
about your friend's mental health and physical health. That's really sweet of you. It's very
I, I,
2026.
I don't know if I'd qualify him as a friend for Bryce. Just listening to him
I
here,
mean,
but
but it seems like he's very empathetic, about the
yeah,
situation. He's just he's afraid he might make a mistake, and he might end up hurting himself. It makes sense.
yeah. Um, so Bryce, going from micro to macro, your thoughts on the indie scene out there in the nation, in Arizona in particular, and like for people who more casual fans out there who are just WWE, AEW, TNA centric, um, what would you tell them about to try and convince them to say, hey, come out of your bubble and watch some of this indie talent going on here and learn a little bit something more about the industry? How would you go about? How would you sell people on that? Yeah. That's a great response because I mean, like, Mania's got its own sort of vibe to it. I mean, if you're at WrestleMania, it's a different, it's its own experience. But yeah, the indie shows are very much more on a personal level. You can really interact with the wrestlers in a certain way that there's no way that's happening at Mania or even a WWE house show for that matter. So yeah, that's a great response, man. Drew, Andrew, got anything? Or I mean, I'll just me, I'll just run at the mouth. That's this is what attorneys do. We just keep talking, boss. So
That's true. That's good. Like I just you're nailing all of you're nailing all of these awesome answers. Like I love how you could just like flip it on a dime and just like stay humble and give like a good broad picture like that. Like that's actually really awesome that you can tell that you care about indie wrestling and what you're doing, and you're not just seeing it as like a stepping stone like a lot of other people do. Like why does that matter so much? Is it just because of the effect it had on you as a kid when you first got to it, or is there something more now that you're in the minutia and you're going from town to town every week? It's, I don't know if the dog agreed or disagreed, like but I think you're making some good points. Well, that's awesome.
yeah, the dogs they've got their own thoughts on these things. So sorry about that. Um, no, no, just watching me play 2K. That's as close as they've gotten. But like so, Bryce, when you first started, like when you first started to get into this and that first WWE 2K game that you involved in, at that point in time, WWE was not so indie friendly. That has obviously changed over the years. They're much more receptive to, and they even have a pipeline for this sort of stuff. So how do you feel about the industry in general? Are you optimistic about where things are heading for pro wrestling in general? Are you cautious about certain things, or how do you look at the industry in an overall sort of manner? Yep.
True.
Yeah, man. When people say there's nothing good on, there's no good pro wrestling on, it's like, well, you're not looking then because it's everywhere, and it just,
It's so easy to find too, because half
yeah,
of it's on YouTube.
yeah. I'm
Honest.
like, I'm like, pick a day that ends in Y. There's going to be something good on there to watch. Hmm.
That is very
Yeah.
true.
And I know you're a big WWE fan, as are most of us. So I got to ask you, how do you feel about WWE in this post Vince era? How do you think Hunter's doing as far as that product is concerned? I mean, they've been a little up and down, but how do you feel about it? Yeah.
What about that Bailey "This Is Your Life" segment? That was a little hard, wasn't it?
You don't watch.
Good answer.
Bryce,
Good
you have to
answer. Good
understand,
answer.
Bryce. Andrew's not a WWE guy, so he's gonna find something to. Yeah, that is totally fine.
Well, true.
Yeah.
And even if I was a WCW, TNA, New Japan, Noah, anything that wasn't WWE guy growing up and everything, I agree with you
Hypothetically,
completely. I agree with you completely for right now that the Triple H era has been a big upgrade, and I think you hit the nail on the head. People always complain. Is there anything else that does catch your attention in the wider world of wrestling? Because what brought up your match you had with TMDK. They got big in Noah. They were New Japan for a little bit. TJP was New Japan. The like AAA. You're in Arizona. That's not super far away. So and that's starting to gain some speed. Like CMLL also has their deal with AEW, New Japan, and MLW now, since because Fantastica Mania is a big thing that's they've been promoting. So is there anything in that era or at that vein that you have interest in, like direct interest? Obviously, you seem the type to be open to most things, but like anything that really like gets you geeked. Accurate. So that so do you have any interest in adding international rings to your collection of Saturn's rings? Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So Bryce, how many years have you been in the industry as a pro wrestler right now? Okay,
Oh, nice.
so you've been you are a veteran of the ring wars right now, and not Saturn's rings, but just the ring wars in general. What kind of advice would you give somebody who's just trying to break in as a pro wrestler? Like, anything that you've learned in the 5 years you've been there that maybe you would help them to, like, hey, don't go down this path. Um, Anything like that. Mm.
You're pretty good at it, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
True. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. Yeah, man. To your point, I mean, how many people have we seen over the years? Limited skill set go straight to the top because of promo skills. I mean,
Yeah,
Hulk
quite a
Hogan.
few.
There's a great example. Hulk was better in the ring than people give him credit for, but it was his talking that
Mhm.
made Hulkamania what it was. And you've seen countless examples of that. So that's great advice, man.
That is true.
Mhm. It is now.
It
We're
it
gonna make
works
it.
now.
It
I
is
like it.
now.
When the guy that's 6'8" can also do dives and flips, it doesn't matter if you're 5'9" and can do dives and flips. So
Well, no, I mean, I think big thing is charisma, and in 45 minutes talking to you, and I've done a lot of interviews with wrestlers and all sorts of people, and you've definitely got it, my friend. So that's awesome. You got the charisma, and you got the right attitude. Andrew, you got anything? I want to let Bryce out of here. I've got my one final question I want to dump on him at the very end here, but I will defer to you, my man.
yeah, yeah, dump it on him, Dave.
Okay, I'll dump it on.
Just not dog food. We're not going to go through that
No,
again.
no,
I'm not.
no dog food. No dog food.
Suffering succotash is still bad, though, right? Even you can't make
Right.
that work, right, Bryce?
No.
Okay, there we go.
You said in another interview I heard you, your ultimate goal, as many people, is to main event WrestleMania one day. So I want to put you on the spot. Your ultimate dream match, main event WrestleMania. If you could go against anybody from the past or the present, who would it be, man? Uh, well, that's the attorney part of me where I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that stuff.
Exhibit A.
mm, mm. Yeah.
You'll enjoy the
No.
trip to Suplex City. That's what you're saying. Fair.
Well, never say never, man.
And
Right.
well, you also that's true, but also if I think AJ Styles said in a recent interview, like WWE usually gives him one as like a comeback out of retirement match. They usually give him one for free. So you could be Lesnar's one.
Well, that improves your chances. Yeah.
And that would be a heck of a look Could you imagine getting thrown around by like lumberjack grandpa? Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's true. That's
I
true.
mean, Goldberg pretty much did it. So I mean, yeah, you never.
Pretty
But
much.
I love that answer. I love that answer because Seth's approach to that match is probably how you would have to go about trying to go out to go after Brock in a situation like that, man. Well, Andrew, you got anything left to close out here before we let the
I, I,
champ
I
go?
think we've taken enough of his time, yeah.
I appreciate that. Bryce, let people know, man. Contact information. Where can they get a hold of you and check you out on social media or keep up with the comings and goings of the IZW heavyweight champion, man? Andrew, you remember it.
That every ring is Saturn's ring?
That's right. Awesome stuff, man. Bryce, thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. Andrew, you got anything you parting words, parting gifts, anything you want to tell people watching this?
Nah. I'm
All right.
it's not relevant to this situation, so I'm just let Bryce have it. Like that was a
All
great way
right.
to end it.
Yeah. I will say this, of course. Go to thechairshot.com. Always use your head. That is the website. You got to go there. Got to go there. And of course, prowrestlingtees.com/, the chair shot, where we have many. We need to get a Saturn's Ring shirt over there on the chair shot. Pro Wrestling Tees website there, Andrew. That's what I'm going to say.
I think we
And
know a guy.
I think we do know a guy. And I will shamelessly plug myself here. Attitudeofaggression.com, pro wrestling, Game of Thrones universe, ufology. It's all sorts of weird stuff going on over at the Attitude of Aggression. So, Bryce, wishing you the best of luck. Not that you need it, but just in case against Gino on August 22nd. You can never have too much luck, my friend. But I want to thank you. Yeah, I want to really thank you for spending time with Andrew and I tonight. This was awesome. And we'll be talking to you soon, man. And keep those rings collecting, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.